Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahwashai, Ba'asham Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, pushing this 100% truth of the gospel, waking up and sealing the elect nation of Israel through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahwashai. And salutations to all your sincere Alchemad that are pushing this gospel in all righteousness and in all sincerity, risking your lives and your freedom to do so. Alright, so let me get the book of Romans, the 11th chapter, and the first verse. I'm going to go and jump down. Let me get just the first verse I need to get. Alright, Romans 11 verse 1, and it reads, I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. Okay, so as the title suggests, this is an unthinkable thing that Yahweh that the Most High, that Yahweh, alright, would ever forsake or abandon or cast away his people. Okay, and this is what these Christians believe. Okay, this is what these Christians think, that they have superseded the Israelites in the most highest priority list, that now everybody is a child of God. Okay, and that the Israelites no longer matter, or that being an Israelite is no longer relevant. Okay, that you are no longer the Lord's people, because now everybody has that privilege, which is basically going into, let me get that definition. Supersessionism. I want to bring that out. Okay, here it is. And I've actually gone into this before, but I want to bring that again just to what's what I'm looking for, just to bring that again, just to stir up your pure hearts by way of remembrance. You know what it says. You know what it is. Alright. So this is the dictionary this is the Wikipedia definition of supersessionism, and it reads: Supersessionism, also called replacement theology, is a Christian doctrine which asserts that the new covenant. Okay, so we already understand, that these Christians are going off first and foremost by saying that there is a new covenant that is created. Okay, and you can go into the scriptures for evidence that there is no new covenant yet, and that the new covenant will actually be given to the seed of the house of Israel. Okay, Jeremiah the 31st chapter, and I'll actually go into that a little bit later. Hebrews 8 verse 8. Okay, and it is the new covenant through, and of course they use the JC, because that's what these Christians believe in, supersedes the old covenant, which was made exclusively with the Jewish people. That is basically what that whole supersessionism goes into, and I cannot stress enough how wrong, how false that doctrine is. Okay, because it is not a true doctrine, because we already know what this, you already know how these Christians think, man. We already know that we already know how they feel, how they see themselves. They basically want to say that the most highest covenant. And let me get that again, so that it will not be said that I put words in a Christian's mouth. And let me plug this in real quick. So let me read it again. Supersessionism, also called replacement theology, is a Christian doctrine which asserts that the new covenant through Jesus Christ supersedes the old covenant, which was made exclusively with the Jewish people. Okay, so that is telling you that what they want to say, that the old covenant has been done away with. So now we are in a new covenant. Okay, now we are that's basically what they want to say, that we are in a new covenant in which being an Israelite doesn't matter anymore. Being a part of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the tribes of Israel doesn't matter anymore. But we got precepts for that. Okay, as scripture says, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. That's how the word of the Most High has been revealed. Let me get that precept. It's been a long time, so you have to bear with me a little bit. Let me just bring that out. I believe that is Isaiah 28 verse 13. Here it is, Isaiah 28 verse 13. And this is a beautiful precept right here. Okay, Isaiah 28 verse 13. But the word of Yahweh was unto them precept upon precept, precepts upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken. Okay, that is why these Christians, when they always drown whenever we go into the scriptures, they always fall, because this is basically a stumbling to them. They fall, and their fall is always a bad fall. When you have different type of falls. You have a little fall where you just trip and you catch yourself before you actually hit the ground. And you have falls where you hit the ground, but you break your fall by just putting your hands on the ground before you hit the ground. But then you have falls that you fall and you hit the ground face first, man. You break, if you kind of fall, like you hit the ground face first, and you have falls, man, when you fall and you bust your skull open. That's the kind of fall that these Christians fall whenever we go precept upon precept, man. And in all actuality, okay, it's not even, of course we know that, like the apostle had us to say, these Christians, they don't know the scriptures. But guess what, man? These Christians are on such a low level, are so far below us that they can't even keep up with us, man. When you are going precept upon precept, when you are going precept upon precept, these Christians, they can't even follow it. Okay, they get messed up, they get confused, they don't even know what is going on. Okay, that's why the way I argue with these Christians, whenever you hear what their arguments, you're always wondering. Basically, what I'm thinking about is that Russell Westbrook meme where he just goes, "What?" That's what's always on your mind. What? What are these? What are you Christians always coming out here talking about? Because they are so far behind us, they don't even know what the hell is going on. That's basically how these Christians are, man. So that's so now let me go back to the book of Malachi. I believe I haven't brought this out yet. Alright, the book of Malachi chapter 3 verse 6, and it reads, "For I am Yahweh, I change not, therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed." Okay, and we know the type of power that the Most High is. He cannot lie, as the scripture says that the Most High is not a man that he should lie, neither is he the son of man that he should repent. Okay, had he not say, will he not do it? Okay, the Most High does not need to change his mind, does not need to change, will not change any of the things that he has said. And even more importantly, okay, I was saying, even more importantly, as the scripture says, okay, that is the book of Isaiah 55 verse 11, where it says that was, "So shall the word of the Most High be that goeth forth out of his mouth, it shall not return unto him void, but it will accomplish that." Okay, so accomplish that which he had willed for it to. No, let me get that precise. I don't want to butcher it. Isaiah 55. Alright, this is the book of Isaiah 55 verse 11. "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it." Okay, and the word that left the Most High's mouth in this case. Alright, and of course you should know, and if you know the scriptures, you would know that he hath chosen the Israelites to be his people. Okay, and that has not changed. That's that word that has left the Most High's mouth, that he had chosen Israel to be his people, will not return to the Most High void. Okay, he will not return to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua void. He will not cast away his original people. That is an unthinkable thing. Okay, that's why the title of this lesson is an unthinkable thing, because that's right there, the idea of the Most High abandoning us, the Israelites, is an unthinkable thing. Okay, which is why, going into the scriptures, going into the precepts, the Most High gave some impossible feats in order to prove that our people, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in that order. Okay, let me get that in the book of Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. Alright, Jeremiah 31. And it's funny because this whole chapter right here, this Jeremiah 31, is dedicated to the Most High. Alright, proving the Most High, not only is he delivering our people, okay, gathering them up from all the places in which he had scattered them. Alright, and then God giving us that new covenant, in that order, because I can start reading this whole thing and tell you that, and the only thing that you see here is Israel, because those are the only people who the Most High is dealing with. But let me go to the point. Okay, let me jump down to the point. I talked about how the Most High said that He would make a new covenant with only the Israelites. Okay, so whatever new covenant is made, if whether it's through our Lord Yahweh Shai or directly from the Most High Himself, it will be made with the Israelites. Okay, so let me just get this precept real quick. Jeremiah 31 verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Okay, Israel and Judah. Where were the other nations involved in this? Where is Esau? Like the majority of our people love so much and want to be in this new covenant so badly. Where is Moab? Where is Ammon? Where are the heathen? It is only the Israelites that the Most High is dealing with. I don't want to start going into all those precepts to prove that as well. Okay, but so now let me just go down to the main point. Okay, because if I keep on going reading on, I'll just jump down to the 35th verse, which is the main point I want to get, because everything else is just going into the details of the new covenant, showing you that these Christians don't even understand what that new covenant is. But of course, it's just following the trend of Christians not understanding the scriptures. So this is the book of Jeremiah 31 verse 35, and it reads, Thus saith Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yahweh of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Thus saith Yahweh, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith Yahweh. Okay, that's why I'm going to stop right there. Okay, so the Most High basically set up an impossible condition for in order for us to no longer be His people, in order for Him to actually, in order for Him to actually cast us off. Okay, for us to no longer be Israelites. And I know what and I know what some people are thinking right now. Going into the book of Hosea, where the Most High said that the prophet Hosea should marry a harlot, and bear children of whoredom, and he named one of the children Loami, La'a Amia, meaning lost by people. However, all right, the rebuttal for that is in the book of Jeremiah 49. Another precept going into the Most High gathering and redeeming our people, the Israelites. Okay, so now Isaiah 49, and I'll start from the 14th chapter. The 14th verse. Isaiah 49. This is Jeremiah. I meant Isaiah. Salakia. I always mix those two up, so you have to bear with me. Alright, but Isaiah 49 verse 14, and this is the one now that I'm talking about. I said that what. That is a precept. It's another precept going into the Most High gathering and redeeming our people. Okay, through our Lord Yahweh Shai, of course. Right, Isaiah 49 verse 14, and it reads, But Zion said, Yahweh hath forsaken me, and my Lord hath forgotten me. Okay, this is what our people's mindset are in right now, that the Most High had abandoned us because we're under the curses, we're under this devil, we're under Esau. But this is what the Most High has to say to that. Okay, can a woman, Isaiah 49 verse 15, can a woman forget her sucking child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yea, they may forget, yet will I not forget thee. Behold, I have graven thee upon the palms of my hand. Thy words are continually before me. Okay, so the Most High hath not forgotten our people. Okay, so that whole situation in the book of Hosea about the Most High abandoning us, it was only for a season. Okay, and even though He did that, He still we are still His people, right? He may have He may have forsaken us for a little while, but that not change the fact that we are still His people, that we are still His bride. Okay, because you know what the law says going up into marriage. Okay, you may put away your wife, but that does not mean that she is not your wife. Okay. And okay, so back to what I was saying. The conditions concerning, the conditions concerning Esau, the conditions concerning Esau, The conditions concerning the Most High abandoning our people, going back to Isaiah 49, verse 14 to 16. Not Isaiah 49, Jeremiah 31, verse 35. The ordinances, which are the sun and the moon, okay, the waters, okay. Right? That's why the sun is still in the sky, and the moon still gives her light, okay, even with his tempering, with his what they call that thing again, that he puts, that those fumes that he spreads with planes, chemtrails. Even though he tries to cover up the moon's light with chemtrails, even though he's talking about nuking the sun, nuking the moon, even though he's trying to do all these things, they are still up there, okay. They still exist as a sign at the Most High that the covenant with Israel still stands, okay. So why is there a doctrine about salvation being for anybody except the Israelites? Why is there a doctrine like supersession or replacement theology, okay? When you see that the ordinance that the Most High had put in the sky, that the signs that the Most High had put to show that his covenant with Israel still stands, still exists. Where is it in the whole Bible where it says that the Most High is now dealing with every single nation, or that his covenant with Israel has been annulled? Alright, once again, it is an unthinkable thing, okay? Because that's something that the Most High will never do. So yeah, I'm going to end it right here. Just wanted to go into this a little bit. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Racha, Kwadash, Wa, Abad, Babal, Shalom.